if you want, we can jump into good trade, bad trade.
Yeah. I don't have much. I'll just talk about this. This LK was ended up being my best trade of the year here. So I'll talk about the setup a bit. And so this name. So we love recent IPOs, and from a fundamental aspect, we love high beta names with sales growth. So they dropped these earnings, and it's kind of been a dud its whole career. It had one good run to new highs and IPOs, and then it hasn't really done much. But they're a huge growing company. They want to be the Starbucks of China. They're the Starbucks of China, and they're competing with Starbucks to open more stores. Right now, Starbucks has about 4,200, and they opened 1,000 stores in the past year to get from 28 to 3,800. So you can see they're closing that gap. So the thing about coffee in China right now, people don't drink coffee in China like they do in America. So it's the biggest market in the world, developing market in the world for coffee. So if they're growing, their sales grew 500% year over year. That's like, I couldn't believe they didn't gap the stock up. And now what happened was, it was really lucky timing wise. There was an IPO lockup of insider shares that coincided with earnings. So we saw this huge volume on earnings day, and it didn't go anywhere. I couldn't figure out why. Like, I was like, this shit is explode. Like the numbers are exploding. Like, everything looks so good, fundamental, technically everything. And what it was the insider lockup. The insiders were selling their shares that first earnings day on the gap up. Think about it. You're long the stock from like $15. You're sitting through this pain. It closes $19. It opens up at 22 the next day. You can finally sell these shares. You're probably going to sell these shares if you're not a trader. You don't know what's going on, stuff like that. So I felt we were pretty blessed that this just didn't run on us the first day. So I was staring at it, and then the next day I grabbed a feeler. Shouts out to Django. He was like the first one who got in it when it took out that 21 and reversed. So that's when we started buying it. So then it gapped up to 22 the next day. So I don't really go nuts about setups, but this one was like, we had a flat market. This had a lot of volume pre-market, and it was fighting off the open. So let me go to a 5-minute chart. Let me get rid of these moving averages. All right, so here was the move. Here was the day. It gaps up, and it didn't really do much off the open. And it was just fighting between 22 figure and like 2203. So I had a 2204 buy stop, 2203 buy stop for 5,000 shares. I got 20 cents slippage on that. You do the math. So, but what I saw, and then this is when I've never really typed something in the chat like this. I did LK with like 15 exclamations. When I see that massive influx of volume right at the level where the trade's triggering, that tells me that big funds, I'm not the only one with this idea. That is just confirmation of my idea. So that was like, I bought that 5,000. When I saw that, I bought another 1,000 when I saw a huge influx. And I was paying up. I was giving it to yesterday's low. So, but that just gave me such confirmation on my trade. And that's what I really saw. What I needed to see was that huge influx of volume. And then you can see the price action after, how it, went up, whatever it did, 25, 30% in a few days. And I sold a lot of it, but I still have a little bit, trading it, got to trail some. But overall, when I saw the sales growth, and I saw that volume, that influx of volume through 22 to confirm my thesis on the trade, that's when I knew it was go time. And I had the confidence to tell everyone, like, all right, this is like this. I'm really fucking risking it, this one. And I'm up over 30K in the trade. It's my best trade of the year by a landslide. So I'm just proud of that one. And that was really, once I did that, that was really it for my trading for the week. But here's something, all right, last babble is, after I did do something like that, because I'm not the kind of trader that's going to go, I'm not going to $500 this week, $500 next week. I'm going to trade in runs. When I go on a big run, like that's what I do. I put on heavy risk, and I make big runs a few times a year. So what I've learned to do is, after I get the big run, just take a day off. So that's why Monday, it's like you didn't really hear from me in the chat, because when you have that big winner, your whole mindset gets fucked up. When you have a big loser, your mindset gets fucked up. Like you were saying in the chat, best day, worst day, right? You usually have your best day and it goes right into your worst day. So I've done that a bunch of times in my career, and I don't want to do it because you're so confident. You think you're the best trader in the world. You're going to put on all this risk that it's not as good as the risk I put on with LK. So why would I do it in these other trades? Because I'm more relaxed in my mindset. I think everything's going to work out because my account's higher than it was yesterday. So I think taking a little time off after you have that big winner is really important. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about that. Just that 17-minute monologue.
I think everyone owes you like the sickest round of applause that day Valvachet made over 100 grand specifically in
Crazy.
LQ. So, that was a very impressive feat in general. And we spoke about this like a month ago. The market was like a little bit choppy. And before we were taking a highs, when it's very choppy, near highs and near lows, that's when most traders who really aren't in it for the long haul tend to throw in the towel.
Right.
And we saw this at the end of 2018 when the market was at lows. And then we had the craziest year we've ever had. And again, a month ago, we saw that a couple of traders kind of quitting because it was difficult. And now recently, the market's been on fire.
Yep.
We had your call LQ up 30% in 3 days. We had the CRSP that Brian Trump called out, as well as, you called as well for 52 versus 48 to a T. That was a 30% trade in a week. We had this FTNT that I don't know if any of you guys have ever forcefully tried to get stopped out of a winner. This name I've been trying to stop myself out of since $90 a share. I bought it at 80 and I had my stop at 90, went up to 95 and we stopped 82, went to 98, went to 100. Like I've been forcefully trying to stop myself out of this position. Even today, I have a 103.89 buy stop. The low day was 104.04. Another 30% name. So you got LQ 30% in 3 days, FTNT 30% in about 2-3 weeks, CRSP 40% in 5 days. So we're starting to see like a lot of these crazy movers that in the last quarter, we were, if we got a 5% move, 10% move, those were like really, really good trades. And now we're starting to see with the market at highs, this also tends to be the time that the new trader will say, market's too high, there's nothing to buy because they're not going to look at individual names and find setups. Where these are like those runs you're talking about, that we can get these crazy, 30, 40, 50% moves in a pretty quick time frame. It's not like this FTNT or any trades took weeks or months. It took a couple of trading days. So these are those trades where we get these good winners. You got to really hold on to them. And even like some of the guys that like this Microsoft, and some of the guys are just selling it at highs, and we don't know where the new high is going to really form. So when you do get a lot of these sick ones, even AMD. I remember Lincoln had it through 29. A lot of these really sick trades, especially when they really start to break out, we don't know how high they're going to go. So at least if you're just trailing them and you give them a little bit of the right room, you really get paid on some of these like crazy moves versus having a limit order out to sell, and you sell it, you get that sell, and then it's 10 points higher, and you're wondering what the hell you're doing. So
that goes right into my point about I said this last week, where it's like the day trading shit and the cool triangles where it's like, oh, I'm buying the shit out of this and I'm selling it highs. Like that shit is cool, but the easy money is swing trading long. Like look at this AMD trade I have up on the screen from 29 to 41. Shit went straight up. It was almost tough to get stopped out of that trade. Your PFP teacher, all these things. It's like, you buy right, sit tight has never been truer in a good market about getting paid. And we just see how much easier it is than having to find new setups every day.
Yeah. And that was even the last little point, even with this LK. Again, this isn't like you don't like to support buybacks, the slower value names, or that tends to be where I hang out in. And I don't like the newer issue IPOs because I don't want to give a $20 name $2 worth of risk. So we have like our things that we sell and things that we don't. And this one you made me buy. So I was like, all right, I'm buying it 22.05. And this was, again, one of my easiest trades this year because because of your call out. And I was talking to Mo about this, and we were both in it. And Mo's like, I want to sell it day one. And I'm like, Mo, just give it 3 days. Like, give it a couple days. And now 3 days later, I got stopped out the low of the day today, which was like 27, 24, whatever it was, whatever the low day was. And Mo took some off as well. So the fact that he was patient enough to hold it for those 3 days and really let that move, show its hand, he was able to sell, probably 3 to 4 points higher than if he was trying to be that quick trader and get that perfect tick at the high of the day where it's like the stock's probably going to go higher anyways. So, shouts out to Mo for being a little bit more patient and getting a sick trade. And then again, big ups to you for calling this LK, Brian Chung for calling that, the CRSPT. A lot of sick trading right now. So
yeah, I mean, when you get the market at highs, this risk on environment, you're going to see these trades go. Even if the market goes sideways or even pulls back a little bit, there's still going to be opportunity in individual names because it's that risk on environment. Like we're seeing these names go nuts. This LK is just sickness.
Just craziness. And then the best is you're calling it at 22.05. Alpha alerts literally 9:31 on Friday. And then you got like Investor Business Daily coming out yesterday, like literally top ticking it at 28. And they're like, this is the buy of the week. And if you literally follow their advice and bought it, you would be losing money in this trade, while our guys are making 25, 30, 35%. And just the difference of getting information 24 hours later was the difference between a winner and a loser.
Completely.
Just nuts. But I think with that, oh yeah, we could probably jump into top ideas for the week.
Okay, yeah. I only have really one. I mean, I've been lightning the